Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to be doing the full moon reading for the sign of Gemini. Alright, so we're going to get out your animal spirit card for this full moon period, starting June 17th. And we're going to see what kind of animal spirit is walking with our Geminis over this next 28-day cycle from full moon to full moon. How my lovely Geminis doing? I hope you guys are doing well. My daughter's a Gemini, so you guys are very close to my heart. Opposite of my sign, I'm a Sagittarius, so yeah, I love my Geminis. Talk circles around anybody I know, including my daughter Ken. But very intellectual people, very creative, very communicative, beautiful air signs. So let's see what kind of animal spirit we got going on with Gemini for this June full moon period. Show me. All right, Gemini, your animal spirit for this period is the horse. I love it. Earth energy, beautiful. Earth energy, strong. Yeah, very, the horse is, very perceptive, extremely independent, clearly, right? I mean, a horse, you know, they do run in packs, right? Or is it a pack or a herd, right, of horses? However, they can be so fiercely independent as well. Driven, right? Momentum, freedom, force. It's horse energy is unstoppable momentum. It is an unstoppable kind of forward force. He's the master of earth energy, really. The most masterful of earth energy. Even though the bear is, you know, very strong earth energy, it's the horse that's kind of, you know, the master. He's reliable. He's supportive, right? You can ride the horse to any goal, right? So the horse energy is supportive in manifesting your dreams and your goals, that kind of earthy physicality that you need to get to your goals, right? Fully awake and alive. They can't be defeated. The horse's freedom is available to everybody, right? It's like, you know, it's a set of stamina and mental focus, right? As indicated by, if you can see the crescent there in the third eye or the brow chakra of the horse, right? So that's that mental focus and also that physical momentum, you know, that freedom, that unstoppable forward momentum, force. Beautiful energy. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Certainly for our Geminis, right? Nothing can stop you when you have the horse spirit with you, right? Animal spirit with you. It's almost as if this is one of the animal spirits that almost feels as though you are certainly actually riding it. It's that supportive. It's not just one that sits on your shoulder or walks beside you, right? It's truly supportive energy for manifesting and attaining your goals in the here and now. Let's get your cards out. What's going on for our lovely Geminis? We're going to get our cards out for them for this June period. It's the Deviant Moon deck. And I realize this deck is a little bit avant-garde, a bit much. A lot of people don't like the imagery on this deck. However, I find the Deviant Moon deck actually to be, the symbolism and the imagery of it to me is quite full. You know, has a lot of richness in it, and it certainly has, this deck certainly has in it a very moon-like quality in its interpretation of some of the messages. So, what's going on with our lovely Geminis for this June period? Show me. We want to know affirmations, reaffirmations for Gemini, especially with this beautiful earth energy of the horse. We want to know what's going on with Gemini during this June full moon period. What are they looking to attain? What kind of energy should they be working toward and moving away from? What warnings are there? What affirmations are there? Give me a clear picture so that I can give a clear reading to those Geminis tuning into this video. Thank you. Show me. All right. Let's get your cards out, Gemini. Let's see what it's hitting for. And a very interesting reading for Virgo. Really about a lot of self-identity work going on. I wonder, I feel some of the same energy here, but we'll get into that. Center is Knight of Wands. Of course, Knight of Wands, even more for momentum and the Moon. Bottom of the deck is Nine of Cups. So wish fulfillment, Nine of Cups, you know, it's Nine of Cups talks about desires and dreams and relationships that we'd like to have, but yet we're still quite separated from them, right? We're still quite apart from them. There still needs that last little bit of ourselves to put into it to get to that true Ten of Cups. But at the heart of the reading, you have Knight of Wands. Now, if there's any knight in the deck that is close to animal spirit energy of the horse, it will be Knight of Wands. He's the fastest knight in the deck. All right? The fastest knight in the deck is Knight of Wands. That inspiration and that fieriness, right? It comes in. Beautiful. Beautiful energy. You're feeling like you're moving forward. There's a lot of momentum right now in your life. Could be as well, though, no, it could be good that the horses come up for you to help you focus because there's Moon crossing you. So you feel like there's things happening that even though you feel, you know, you're on a forward trajectory in your life, you feel as though there's certain things that you have that you don't know or you're not seeing. There's information that's being kept from you somewhere along the line, right? Can be that things are in a gray area, right? Some things are in a gray area. You just can't quite see, you know, the wood from the trees, as it were, right? You can't really quite get a grip on it. It almost seems to be as though things are happening out of your hands. Right? So you're moving forward, but a lot of things are happening in such a way that you can't really, you don't necessarily have all that control over it. Right? Moon also talks about that nighttime energy, going out, eating in restaurants, evening restaurants, you know, tapas bars, drinking, nightlife, comedy bars, music venues, things like that. Doing that kind of, having that kind of lifestyle, right? Interestingly enough, it could be that right now you feel like everything is moving very fast for you. Knight of King of Swords at the bottom and Justice. Yeah. King of Swords at the bottom. So right now it feels as though like it could be a big sense of responsibility coming in. Could be certainly somebody in your life who may be, you know, right now you're feeling very free, right? You're feeling like you're kind of like on that step of like getting ready to have this great adventure. But there is certainly people in your life. This could be a family member or somebody that you know. It could be like an uncle or a father. Someone who is requiring you to remain grounded to a certain degree, right? Who is requiring you to adhere to some of their rules and regulations. And you're kind of feeling like, I don't know. I don't know if you know, with horse energy, certainly, right? Could be as well why this Moon is here, because you're not really sure. You feel as though this, you know, you're being put under these rules and regulations and you almost don't know why. It's like, well, what's the purpose of all of this, right? You know, why do I have to adhere to this kind of way of thinking, right? This could be a mate as well in your life. Someone that has some kind of responsibility over you. Could be someone in the family who perhaps holds the purse strings of your money and they're saying, hey, either you do it my way or I'm going to cut you off. They, you know, Justice is here. So there's certainly some kind of legal issue as well that's weighing on your mind. That's certainly that you may be in the middle of, or you may be about to start this, right? This could very much be something like, you know, being tied to someone who you feel like is stifling your freedom and your ability to move forward. And you kind of you're trying to get away from this person, right? It could be that you feel almost like David and Goliath, right? This person has all the money, they have the purse strings, they can get the best lawyers. Could be that you're feeling quite unsure about that. Wow. Four of Swords coming up in reverse. Generally, the cards don't come up in reverse because I clear my decks in between. But with Four of Swords coming up in a reverse, that means Four of Swords is usually talking about being stable, right? Taking a pause, trying to maintain stability. A truce, as it were. Getting, returning to your corners and agreeing to fight another day so that you can fight it. You know what I mean? He who lives, today lives to fight another day, that type of thing, whatever it said, whatever that comment, that quote is, right? But this came in reverse. So you're being, you could be that you're coming out of a period of being quite hasty, right? It could be that you've just most recently come out of a period where perhaps to everyone else around you, you look like you're taking, you're being risky, you're being irresponsible. It could be family members who might be coming in and saying, hey, what are you doing? You're saying, look, I'm not being irresponsible. I'm just doing me. Right, there's judgment. There's a lot of judgment going on, right? There's a lot of feeling like, you have to live up to their kind of expectations. I think that you feel as though you've been really stuck in a particular position. I think most recently something has happened that's allowed you to kind of spread your wings, right? Maybe it's even been just waking up to the fact that you're being manipulated, that, that something has been going on that you didn't really know about. I almost feel like, for instance, it could be like one of these scenarios. I'll give you an example. Say, for instance, for many years, there's been somebody in the family, there was an inheritance, all right? So this is just an example. There was an inheritance, and you're part of that inheritance. And every year, there's somebody in the family who's been in charge, and they're the ones who have been doling out the yearly stipends, right, for everyone who's on the inheritance, right? And along this whole time, they've been kind of making you feel as though you have to, like, live up to certain, there's certain things that you have to do to fulfill the criteria so that you can keep getting the stipend, right? But now you find out, you didn't really know the whole story, and now you find out that, in fact, there's no fucking criteria at all. It didn't really matter what you did. The money was yours by right, and in fact, you didn't even have to go through this person to get it. You could have gotten it yourself the whole time. One of those scenarios, right? And then once you find out the truth, it's like, oh, hell no. You're so quick to get on with your life and to get out from under this yoke. Judgment is gone. For a long time, it could be that they've been making you feel bad, feel like the black sheep in the family, right? And you're realizing now that, hang on a second, I'm not the one. You guys are the one. You're the ones who have been acting like you have authority, but in fact, you have none. Could be as well that now you're willing to take control over these issues and take control over your legal affairs as well. This King of Swords can also be you taking control over from another king, the fake king, right? The one who put themselves in a position to be to kind of lord over you. And now you realize that they weren't qualified at all. And in fact, this has always been your responsibility and your right. And there's the Fool coming out. So it's a complete reminder of who you are. The Fool, a lot of people believe the Fool is only about new beginnings. The Fool isn't just about new beginnings. The Fool comes into the reading to represent you because it is the traveling of the Fool through the 10 Zifra on the tree of life that the tarot is all about. I oftentimes in my videos, I mention the tree of life just to give a little bit of broader context. But remember, the tree of life, from the Kabbalistic, right, theory, the teachings, the tree of life have 10 Zifra. The 10 Zifra correspond to the minor arcana from 1 to 10, right, from ace to 10. There is no 0 on the tree of life. The Fool card is the 0. The first step on the tree of life, you would say you add the 0 to it, and it brings you to, right? The first step is 1. When you add the 0, what do you get? You get 10, which is completion. So it's the traveling of the Fool through the different stages, constantly ascending and descending, ascending and descending, ascending and descending, right? Through different stages of the tree of life. Learning lessons and then having karmic situations where they descend again, right? Getting into other issues, perhaps some negative vibration, and then learning another lesson and ascending, and then going through another difficulty and descending. It's a constant up and down until you actually learn certain lessons and you evolve. It's the travel of the Fool. The Fool is you. So not only does he indicate new beginnings, but when the Fool shows up, it indicates life-changing moments where you realize you have almost like an epiphany. The Fool shows up when you have an epiphany about who you are and where you are in life, and which necessitates a new beginning, right? So it's a subtle thing. It's not just new beginnings, but why is there a new beginning? Why is there a new beginning when the Fool shows up? Because the Fool has had an epiphany. He's gotten, he's no longer the Fool in certain, he's learned something, right? We're always trying to not be the Fool anymore, not be the young one with no experience, right? The young soul. So learning something is an epiphany. And then once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. And so it necessitates a new beginning. You've had an epiphany about what's been going on, and this is going to be quite life-changing for you. Queen of Wands. Beautiful. So the Queen of Wands talks about total transformation. The Queen of Wands has gone through the fire. She's one of the queens that has gone through kind of a total emotional and spiritual transformation because of the trials and tribulations she's gone through. She's learned wisdom. She's learned passion. She's learned she's a warrior. She's learned she's strong. She comes out when we have gained self-confidence, when when our self-esteem increases, right? And as a result of all of this, and you realizing who you really are and what part of your life path you're on, you come out like a warrior, Gemini. And there's the Empress as well. Beautiful. Right? So you come out like a warrior, and then you got Empress right there. Now, Empress could be how you feel coming into your queen, right? Your full manifestation of who you are. The ultimate divine feminine, the Empress. A lot of times people believe that you can't be a court card and another card in a reading. It's all about the travel and the position. The Queen of Wands is an energy that you can manifest as a result of an epiphany in life about yourself. The Queen of Wands is a very specific energy, it's personal growth energy. Court cards are all about personal growth. So, and your connection to the Godhead. So this Queen of Wands is when you have learned that you are strong, when you've learned wisdom, you've learned that you can fight, that fighting will work, that you have everything you need to do to fight. You know yourself. You know where you are strong as well. You wear your battle scars with pride, okay? So you no longer get embarrassed, right? About having gone through the fire. Do you know what I mean? It's almost as if you wear your battle scars with pride because you know yourself that you have evolved and elevated to a really powerful position. You have gained freedom in your wisdom. And then you, very much so as a result of all of that, you can then settle right into your beautiful Empress energy, which I think is coming for you, Gemini. I think reading is all very much about you and this kind of regaining control of your life and having a new beginning. This is all about your passions and how you see yourself. There's the Ace of Wands. So there's a time element here, and over the next 28 days, this is we kind of see a progression of the story. And Ace of Wands, once all of this happens, it's like this is the real new beginning. Okay? It's not the Fool. The Fool is the epiphany that begins, that gives the juice for the new beginning, right? The new beginning is the Ace of Wands right here. There you go. Now you have everything you need. Right? And it all started with you finding out some bit of information, having some legal issue that came up, and you realizing something that you didn't know that has completely freed you from a stasis, released you from judgment, and made you realize something about yourself and others that you never knew. And of course, at the center, you have Knight of Wands. We have Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands. This is all very passionate, fiery, forward-moving energy. You can't help it but move forward and get to a better place. Why not? Because, of course, we have horse energy right here, which is animal spirit that's riding with you. This kind of strong momentum we see right here with so many wands. And with the Knight of Wands in the center, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. But where you land, where you eventually land, is somewhere very beautiful. You land exactly where you need to be in yourself. This could be male, female, doesn't matter. It's about landing, and this particular reading, it's about, you know, it just so happens that you evolve your feminine side, right? If you're a female, obviously, into Empress. If you're a male, this can also be falling, you know, evolving your feminine side, integrating your feminine side, being more nurturing to yourself, right? Luxuriating. The Empress is also about luxuriating and enjoying her garden and enjoying her beauty. She can come out as well for male or female individuals who for a very long time have felt ugly, have felt maybe depressed, have felt a lack of self-confidence or self-esteem, maybe as a result of this oppressive energy from the family member or the friend or whoever it was that they were having to deal with in this situation. Right? Now, that example I gave about the inheritance, that was simply an example, but that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And the release of all of that has gotten you into a place where you're now able to treat yourself good, love yourself more. This is a great reading. Let me get some clarity. Where are we at? We're at 21 minutes. That's not too long. I'm going to get us some clarity on these cards, and then we'll call it a wrap. This is a beautiful reading for you, Gemini. Big changes. Forward momentum is happening whether you want it or not. This is positive. Certainly when the Fool shows up in a reading, it's always very positive. It's a consciousness of realizing where you're at on your life, in your life plan, you know. Never take the showing up of the Fool to be light. Never just say, oh, new beginning, leap of faith. There's always something a little deeper when the Fool shows up, because the Fool always reminds us of who we are, or who we are and where we are at on the tree, right? On our destination. Give me some clarity on this beautiful reading for Geminis. You want to get affirmations, reaffirmations? Show me what's going on with this movement, this change, this epiphany that they should be going through over this next 28-day cycle. Show me. Princess of Wands. Wow. We just can't get enough wands, right? Star, wish fulfillment. 4 of Wands. 6 of discs or pentacles. 2 of discs, pentacles. 5 of pentacles. Ace of swords. And Princess of discs. Beautiful. At the bottom we have the Chariot also. For momentum, moving on your path. The Chariot has certainly been engaged. Right? Here we go. Freedom. Princess of Wands is freedom. Right? Princess of Wands is freedom. This new insight, this new information that's going to come through, this unraveling of what was, or unveiling of what has been hidden by the moon, is going to make you feel enormously free and creative. Or we already know that, but I mean, coming out, Princess of Wands coming out. Princess of Wands is also the one who, she's at the point where she's conquered pettiness like jealousy and envy. She's proud of herself. She starts to be confident. You know, she doesn't have to worry about competing with others. You see how free she feels. It's also an enormous burst of creativity as well. The Star, wish fulfillment. So finally your wishes are coming true. You've been manifesting something, and it's coming through on the physical. And through legal, you know, through legal doctrine, you may get that notification. You're finally going to get that document that's going to help you get freed from whatever the scenario was that where you may have felt like you've been controlled or manipulated in some way, right? Whatever the scenario is that has stifled your freedom, justice, or the legal document, business document, whatever is in the realm of the legal affairs, right? Business affairs is going to come through for you. Whatever that wish is, you've manifested it. 4 of Wands. Here we go. So we got 4 of Wands over the reverse 4 of Swords. So movement towards harmony. 4 of Wands talks about stability in relationships, right? So where this wasn't stable before, this movement, you know, where you were before, actually with Four of Swords, right? That kind of like that would have been being would have been stability, right? But it being reversed, right? It was like I said, all this information coming through has kind of broken all that stability, right? And it caused you to kind of just move immediately forward, immediately. Like it was almost like one of those, what, you know, you get the news and what, all right, boom, and you're like right away in it, right? Four of Wands, though, covering it, talks about that it was necessary to happen. It was necessary for you to move, to make that forward movement, to maintain stability in other ways. What you thought was stable before was actually not stable. And what you're working towards now is true stability. It's true stability, and you're going to find true stability in your relationships because you needed to make a change and you needed to make a move. Where you were at before was a false sense of safety, a false sense of stability. Now you can cause your own stability. Now you are the master of your life, and so you are the one who's creating the stability. Six of Discs, so the success starts to come in for you, right? Six of Discs talks about working towards you know, harmony in business, on, you know, having a good relationship with money, not making, you know, not feeling like guilty about it or ruled by it, right? So this whole thing, right, like I said, I just feels very much like you have been manipulated on some degree that has had some kind of bearing perhaps on your money or perhaps on your livelihood, you know, in some way that has restricted your freedom, right? And we all know, like, if you have access to money, you have a lot more freedom to do things. But a lot of that, now that you're being released from it, it's like, for instance, before this, you know, whoever was manipulating you was making you feel bad about things, making you feel bad about the money that they were giving you, perhaps that was rightfully yours to begin with. Do you know what I'm saying? One of those scenarios, right? And now that you feel, now that you're realizing the truth, right? Another example, in that scenario, now that you say you realize the truth and you realize that, hang on a second, I didn't need to be made to feel bad because this money was my money. I should have had it. They were manipulating me to feel bad, right? Now that you're being freed from that, it's like you start to have better success in your financial area. You start to feel better about the money that you do have and spending it on the things that you choose to spend it on. You get released from that kind of guilty association that you've always had with either any money or any support that you've received, right? Perhaps the support that you've received from this individual or this person in your life, right, always made you feel kind of like guilty for it. You no longer have to do that. Two of Discs, yeah, this balance. Two talks about trying to balance two sides of your life, and you realize now you no longer need to. That's the epiphany, right? I'm pretty sure that up until now you've probably had a lot of anxiety having to balance, you know, one side of your life with the other. Perhaps this kind of like expected way, you know, people expecting you to act a certain way. So that's your life here, and then who you really are is over here, and it's been a constant battle. Right? And you realize now that you don't need to do that anymore, right? This epiphany that you're going through, this change, you realize you don't need to balance anything anymore. You don't need to have them both. You can now throw everything out and make a whole new set of choices. You don't have to be bonded by these two, you know, by these two responsibilities or this other responsibility that you've always had to check your freedom for, right? You can let go and choose one. You can choose in this instance. Where twos are not generally about choice, they generally are about balance. But up until now, this balancing act has been very stressful for you. And so either choosing one or not choosing either and having a whole new picture for your life is really more of what I believe is going on here. Five of Discs is worry. So yeah, Queen of Wands. Five of Discs is that kind of like, yeah, now you're going to be ousted, right? People are going to turn their back on you because you're going to be stronger, because you found your feet. Oftentimes, the Five of Discs will show up when we do shadow work, when we do internal spiritual work, because people start to be upset about it, be intimidated by it. They then start to separate. So, you know, five of coins or pentacles here is about people, you know, separating themselves from you, kicking you out of their little group, turning their back on you, trying to fuck up your money situation, right? Now you will get some of this probably coming your way, because haters always hate when you learn that they're haters, right? When you learn that somebody doesn't have your best interests at heart, and you not only do you learn it, but you make changes to the scenario so that you're back in control, they're always gonna hate on you for that and try to like ostracize you. So just take care, beware. It's gonna be a period where you're gonna find out who your true friends are, certainly. Ace of Swords coming in, right? Yeah, so Ace of Swords talks about a victory. Certainly with the Empress, you feeling like you are getting into who you really are, right? Settling into this divine feminine energy, along with this Ace of Swords, this Ace of clarity, understanding, seeing clearly, finally. So this Ace of Swords is what gets rid of this moon energy finally, once and for all. It will be cleared up, because now you have, after having gone through all of this, you embody the essence of the sword suit, which is penetrating insight. You now have the insight, the understanding. You have the passion. You've gone through the fire with the Queen of Wands. So you now have the courage and the confidence to go forward. And now with Ace of Swords, you have the insight and the clarity, the wisdom, having learned and seen how, how people can manipulate you and how to get out of it. This is enlightenment, right? This is a result of the epiphany that you had up here with the Fool. Now you can see clearly everything. You can see people's motives much clearer, right? You're much more discerning now. Nobody will ever be able to kick you off your Empress ever again. Gemini, and this is the beginning. Ace of Wands with Princess of Discs. So Princess of Discs talks about sowing seeds for a new garden. A garden that suits her. Ace of Wands is new beginnings, a new life, could be a new relationship. This is beautiful. It just means that whatever new inspiration is coming into your life, you have, on a physical level, you have all the energy, momentum, and intention to manifest it with the Princess of Discs. You know how much work it takes. Having gone through all of this, you've always worked very hard. It's just that up until now, people used to make you feel bad, or maybe try to make you feel bad, or try to make you feel like, your accomplishments aren't your own. And now that you realize that that's all BS, right? You're now, you know what you need to do to manifest your dreams, and you're going to go forward with it. Certainly with Princess of Discs energy. Right? She knows what she needs to do. She knows, especially, look, her staff is pointing down. She knows she needs to be grounded, and she also needs to have connection with the spiritual. She looks as though her womb, she almost looks pregnant, right? That talks about being able to remain, the ability to bring forth new life and new creativity, to create new projects, or the womb, right, is to be able to create, to have everything you need, right, to bring forth, to manifest something that's growing, that's beautiful, right, to manifest a new future. So it's an inkling of what could be, the ability to bring forth a project and make it very real. It's beautiful. You have everything you need. And yeah, this is certainly all going to be made clear over this next 28-day cycle. All right, Gemini, I'm going to call it. This is your full moon reading for June. It's a beautiful reading. I love horse energy. If this resonated with you guys, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, or share down below. Hit the bell. Use the link that I put on the video or below to schedule a private reading if you'd like to have one of those. And for right now, I just got to tell you, Geminis, you're getting some freedom this month, and this is a wonderful, wonderful sight to see. All right, guys, have a wonderful full moon June. Bye-bye.